Hey everybody, WWJD here, the Pacific Storm Allies Gamers, bringing you another video. So, even though I said I was going to be trying to get one of these videos out every week, that kind of didn't happen. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start now, and we're going to go for those weekly videos for the rest of the summer, and hopefully going into my next semester. So, I asked on the Steam group, and I've actually had some comments in the other videos I've made, asking me what do you want to do, or asking you guys what you want me to do. And overwhelmingly, I've had people say they want me to do campaign playthroughs. So the reason I have not done them in the past is because I have been under the impression that a lot of people would just click on it and then go away. They wouldn't do anything good, that the videos themselves would not be very popular, nor would it help to advertise and show off the game. Well, apparently, seeing as what you guys are thinking, I could be wrong. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to kind of do like a mix-up series kind of thing. So I'm going to be playing through the 1.8.4 campaign. I'm not guaranteeing we're going to get to the end. I'm just going to say that we're going to get going into it. And what we're going to do is, as long as the people who are watching them are enjoying them, as long as people are continuing to upvote and keep going with this, then we're going to keep going with it. If a new update gets launched, like 1.8.5, then what we're going to do is we're going to transition over to the new update, and I'm going to try to get us right on back to the initial setup, to try to maybe migrate those saved data files. So it's going to take some time, it's going to be a little bit of a process, but you know what, we're going to give it a shot and we're going to get going. Now, I know a lot of you guys asked for me to play as Japan. Well, I'm sorry, I'm actually going to do it as the United States. Just I'm more comfortable playing US. And along with doing this campaign, I feel like it would be great for me to be able to give you guys some information on how to play the game, on how the next updates are going, and maybe turn this into kind of like a small podcast as well. Also, one other note before we get going, periodically there will be breaks. So just because of the nature of this game being a full RTS game, there will be periods where nothing happens. So if you see a break in the video, that's all that happened. So there you go. Alright, let's go ahead and get going into the game. The first thing I do, right, is I like to set up my map to look kind of like this. I don't like these bars here, and I really don't like the names. It makes it look very cluttered, and it's just my personal preference, I can even get rid of that there just to leave things open. So again, we're running 1.8.4, and so that means that we have a lot of units sitting right in here at San Diego. I'm not going to touch them at first. I'm going to go ahead to buildings, and I'm going to go around all of my buildings, start building up these industrial buildings. So it's going to give us an opportunity to increase the economic production of our nation before we get into war and all that sort of fun stuff. So what we're going to do is build up a few industrial buildings, possibly if we're at San Diego, because this is where our units are going to get produced. Let's maybe build up a few barracks. There we go. Hospitals are definitely going to be needed to keep up the morale, or the heals. And we're going to build up a shooting range here at San Diego. Actually, if we can find Guam too. There's Guam. We want to go and build the shooting range up there. I use that as kind of like a base of operations. So let's go and get that built up. Alright, so let's head back to the San Diego. Let's take a look at some of the units we got here. So we're obviously not at war. Good thing. So let's go ahead and do some basics. So we're going to need some, let's see here. Let's see, we're going to do some transports. So let's go and build up a transport battalion. Actually, let's build up several of those. I think I just knocked myself out of that. There we go. So transport battalion, we're going to create out of these transport victories. Close. Ships. Okay, there's our 47 tankers. Actually, let's build some tankers. Tanker divisions. Yeah. Alright, so there we go. Got our divisions going. Actually, you know what? I'm actually not going to do that. I'm going to take that back. So my reasoning here is I want to build these things up where they only have the actual transportations, right? So we're going to use battalions. My thinking behind this and my reasoning as to why I do this is I like to have my destroyers in my military convoys. Does it leave my other units vulnerable? Yeah, but here's what ends up happening. These smaller transports end up getting attacked, and what good do the destroyers do? They end up getting sunk as well, meaning you just kind of wasted it. So I put them all in a group, and there you go. Now granted, it does leave you much more open to air raids, but if you're being smart with them, then you really don't have to worry about that too much either. So let's go ahead and add seamen into my formations here. Alright. Again, with 1.8, you're going to need to do this manually for the first initial production units, and then you'll be able to step away and let it happen automatically. Just another level of control that you guys get. Alright, so there we go. Let's go and check out our homeland, see what we're doing in our production window. So there's the rest of our transports right there. They haven't been produced yet, but they are coming. Alright. So let's go ahead and build up a couple of, or transport, 2 of these transport battalions. Right, just to go ahead and get them built. And then the others will go ahead and once they get produced, we'll send them out as well. Seamen, maximum. Yes. Alright, so those are built up. We still got a good amount of seamen. Let's go and take a look at something for like a military-esque style thing. So let's go and build a Battleship Strike Battalion. So we got some nice little bit of combat effective units here. So we're going to transfer them, but we also need a few pilots here for our scout hydroplanes. So that's one thing I think a lot of people miss. Those scout hydroplanes, those are very important when it comes to understanding enemy locations and just getting good intel. So like even when you get into combat, to launch those things up and figure out where the enemy is, really important. So I also want to see about looking at some aircraft carrier stuff. So I see right now that our aircraft reduced battalion is the only thing we can build straight up. I kind of want to get to the point of building an aircraft carrier strike fleet, and what we're lacking is we have not enough carriers. We're still building some carriers though, so I think we'll be fine there later. We need a few, actually more than just a few, seaborne dive bombers. We're gonna need some seaborne fighters, some TBFs, and a few transports. Transports are on the way. Let's go and take a look at our production. And as you can see, we actually do need to do some production as far as aircraft. So me personally, I love having air superiority. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna put low subsidizes, high priority. And let's go ahead and just start building up a few of these things. All right, 100 each. I'm gonna wait to build fighters because I want to wait until we have possibly an F4U Corsair up ready for use. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the 1200 HP aircraft engine. For me personally, again, I love having that aerial superiority, and so just having some nice engines is really going to help me out. I'm also going to go into these bases and I'm going to select these settings here. So even though I know a lot of people don't like using the automatic stuff, I personally do because I can still maintain it and I can still take a look at it and keep things under control. Alright, let's go ahead and see. So we've got some units out there. We just started the thing going on, and what I'm going to go ahead and do is before we get started, I'm going to go and drop a save just so we have everything taken care of. Alright, so we're going to call this WWJD campaign 1.8. Alright, yeah. Alright guys, and we're back. Sorry about that. There was a little bit of a break. Apparently hitting that save button decided to knock my recording software off, or I just mishit the keys, whatever. But anyway, we're back. We're back to exactly where we were. So let's go ahead and start up the timeline. Ooh, I forgot to do that. Okay, so one thing I really hate, and again, this is up to you guys how you want to play it, but I hate missions from the government. They don't really have any real strategic purpose based on the enemy, and it just means that if you don't accomplish them, you lose, money or resources. It's just stupid in my opinion. So what we're gonna go and do is we're gonna let this run through, and well, okay, so Japan already wants to give us a battleship for 9 light cruisers. No, I don't really feel like giving you 9 light cruisers just for that. Alright, so we're going to go and step away from that from that right there. What we are going to go ahead and do, now that I think about it, we're going to take the Strike Battalion. We're going to send them out to Guam. So remember earlier on we produced... Actually, I do need to arm them first before I can send them out. But do you remember when we produced, or we started the production of this shooting range? The entire purpose of that is so that we have a central location for operations here in the Pacific. So from here, what we can do is we can, oops, I didn't mean to open that up. But from here, what we can do is we can start moving into what I like to call the main 3. So these 3 bases right here are what I call the main 3. So we've got Guam, Saipan, and Iwo Jima. So what's great about these is if you have these 3 bases, you have places where you can send your ships to rearm, to reload, and do great things, but they've also got airfields. So the airfields here from Guam, guess what? You can hit all this area down here. The airfield up here for Iwo Jima can hit all this area up here. So what you've got is you've got a huge amount of places where you can just launch air raids from. Then of course here at Saipan, that's not quite as important, but I mean if you have that's sandwiched in between, it doesn't really make sense to have just one base sitting there with under enemy control. But they can still reach out here, and Saipan can still reach out here. So it just makes a whole lot of sense to have these main three where you can do a lot of training and help your guys move on. So let's come back over here and go ahead and make sure our battleship strike fleet is equipped. So let's supply them with ammunition. Let's go and supply them with oil. So there we go. Of course, we did just have a huge amount of oil being expended onto our transports and stuff like that, so it might take just a little bit of time for them to fuel up. And I was wrong, so they're already ready to go. So let's go and grab these guys, and let's try sending them out to Guam. Oops. Alright, so it looks like their maximum range is only going to be out here. I'm going to bet you guys that this is one of the older battleship types. So let's go and take a look. Let's go to the formation interface. We take a look at these. And they're the Pennsylvanias. You know what I bet our issue is? We don't have any tankers on board, and we have destroyers, so we're limited by the destroyer ranges. So let's go and take a fix on this. We're going to go ahead and drop them in there. We're going to take one of the tanker battalions, and we don't really have enough oil to suffice with this. So let's see. What we might end up doing is building up a battleship battalion, something that's already got some pretty decent range on it. We're going to go to people. We're going to load them up. We're going to load them up Seam pilots. Alright, we're going to make sure that they're armed up, so let's go ahead and supply them with ammunition and supply them with oil. Give that just a second to arm up, and then what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to take them and we're going to send them out. So the battleships definitely have a larger range on their movement over the destroyers. So we're going to send them out that way. And what I really want to do is I want to wait and see if we can't find one of these tanker battalions. And I'm going to join their formation up with my battleship strike battalion. So what'll end up happening is we'll load up some oil onto the tanker battalion here, and they'll be able to escort the rest of them out to Guam successfully. Of course, as things progress throughout the campaign, I would like to have oil sitting at each of these bases. Well, you know what? We've got oil there. Got oil, a little bit of oil there, a little bit there. But you know, we got enough sitting there at Pearl Harbor that I think we can make it. So let's go ahead and do this. Alright, so we got that going on, got that started. I know I'm moving a little bit quickly, guys, but this is just some of the early stuff that I do, so I'm really into it. I kind of know what I'm doing. If you guys, of course, need me to slow down, please let me know in the comments below. But yeah, so let's go ahead and take some more look at our formations that we got going here. So I would not mind having a battleship strike battalion. Actually, no, that's what I've already built. I don't know what I'm thinking. I wouldn't mind having a couple destroyer divisions just for some protection, since we got a lot of Clements and Bensons. So let's go and build 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's start off with 5. I don't really want to maximize out or drop in too many at one time so that our just resources die. So what we're going to go and do is we're going to go ahead and arm these guys up, and then I'm going to leave them here at San Diego for just a little bit. So they're going to be a good little, our little defense group, if you will. I'm also keeping an eye on our number of seamen that we've got. We're still doing pretty good. Again, we just started the campaign out, so I don't think we're going to have any issues there. Let's take a little look-see also at our fighter regiments. So let's take a look at the 16 fighter regiments. Let's go ahead and create from our P40s there. Notice that there was a fix. Our P40s would not form previously in 1.83, so now we got that fixed up, so we're good there. Let's go ahead and build up one. Let's build up 5 of them, I guess. So 1, 2. You know, I don't think we can get 5. We don't have enough P40s for that. But we're going to join them all up into one larger formation. And then we're going to give them some nice pilots. Right. We also need to allow them to be rearmed. Actually, we need to get these squadrons disbanded before we go. And then they should rearm themselves. But let's go ahead and do it for them manually anyway, just so we are 100% set. One thing also I think we need to do is produce some ammunition. So let's go back to our homeland and take a look at first our technology. So that's coming along pretty well. I'm glad to see that. I'm also probably going to build the HF radar, so we got some radar technology on the way. And let's build up a little bit of ammunition. Yeah, let's go ahead and manually punch in these numbers. Again, I like to keep low subsizes. I want to have a good economy, and we're going to send this to low priority since we've already got ammunition. And so we got a lot of these ships on the way, and we got a few of these anti-aircraft turrets being produced, so we should be able to send them. So just as an example of what I was saying previously, this is what happens when you fail a government requested objective. It's going to decrease your amount of money. It's going to send your morale for your entire nation down -5%. And if I could just disable that and do everything manually, that's the way I'm going to go with it. So I believe the only thing it was supposed to do was was gonna skip this, was just build like an anti-aircraft thing right over here. It's just kind of stupid. So you know, let's see. So that was a notification that I also need to remove that was talking about my fleet exiting a storm area. So personally, I don't really need to see that. They're going to repair anyway automatically because I have that turned on. So there's no reason for me to see it. So let's go ahead and drop that in there. All right, let's keep going just a little ways. And then we've... I don't really think that's a valid trade personally. Let's go ahead into the homeland again and take a look at some of our production here. So we've definitely got a few destroyers being built, a few cruisers, and we've got a carrier coming on. The Hornet is being produced. One thing I'm going to go ahead and do, since I want to build up some more and have huge advantages when it comes to the aircraft, I'm going to go ahead and build up. Let's see, I want to get a Ranger built, I think. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and build up 2 Rangers. Again, low subsizes. I'm not going to put that on high priority, about mid-high. So we're going to drop that in there. And if we look back here, it got dropped in. Well, it got dropped in a little bit lower than I thought it was going to get dropped in. But, you know, that's fine for now. I think that's good. Just go ahead and get them started on the back end. Probably won't increase them until later. So I think that's fine for now. So basically what we've done is we have built up our industrial buildings. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at those, see how those buildings have gone. So if you look right here towards the industrial buildings, let's keep looking. Building, 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 building. But as you can see, they're all being built. So we're actually going to have better economies building on later on. We've also got a few battleship stuff out here at Guam. We have our battleship battalion. Then right, if you check out here, we have these guys who are ready to move back out, I think. They've rearmed enough that we can send them out to Guam, so there we go. And then we've also got back here at San Diego, we got our destroyer divisions, and we got a good number of tankers going who can distribute oil around. We've actually got 4 more transport victories, so let's go ahead and drop in 2 more of those guys going, you know? Just so we can have enough transportation that we're not going to have to worry. There we go. So we are in pretty good standings for continuing on for our campaign. We've also got in our buildings, we got our shooting range being upgraded here at San Diego, and if we go over to Guam, we're actually getting one built up there, so we're doing pretty decently. The biggest thing that we're going to need to focus on, I think, in the next episode is going to be making sure that we have our personnel moved out across the map. So again, this was kind of just an introductory video, kind of let's get started with the campaign, see what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Do you want me to keep going with this series? Because if you want me to keep going, I'll keep going. If you want to see something else, let me know. I'm totally up for what you guys are wanting me to do. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing what you think in the comments below. So, with that being said, I'll see you here, there, or in the air. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. I hope that if you enjoyed, you leave a like. If you have something else you want to see, let me know in the comments below. Sorry again for it taking so long for me to get this video out, but hopefully now that I have everything set up and all my equipment going, that we can make videos going every week. So thanks again, guys, for those of you guys who are on the Steam group. Thanks again for those guys who have subscribed on YouTube and on Twitch. And again, I really want to say that I appreciate all the support I've got from this community. It's amazing, and I am just very happy to be a part of it. Thank you guys. I'll see you here, there, or in the air.